You are the Lord God. You are the creator, the holder,
Lord God.
the holder of the
All
Lord
right.
Kingdom,
I
the
like that.
Lordom.
Okay.
What is there in this patch to be excited about?
Oh my goodness.
So much,
All right.
right?
Yeah. I mean, so for anyone that's been playing, this latest drop has tons of great new content. A lot of it just steeped, literally, Tony, steeped
Deep.
in lore. So first and foremost, we have the Defile, which is a new zone, which has got some solo content, some group content, some really cool path content. Uh, but it ends at this massive monolithic piece of exonite called the Light Spire.
Ooh, yes.
And once players get there, there's a couple different ways you can get there. One way is through this 20-man public event called the Siege of the Light Spire. If you don't want to do that event, there's actually a solo option or group and solo option called the Defense of the Light Spire. And either one of those ways will get you to sort of the final confrontation where you get the big reveal about Drusera and the Entity and the Eldon and everything that has been happening on Planet Nexus. That is kind of the culmination of that story. And then from there, once you see the big problem, in the universe, the next piece of content that is available to you is called Journey into Omnicore 1. Which is, now that you know the big threat, this is actually how you will solve that problem, right? So it's a solo instance, really cool cinematics, full VO, and your quest when you get in there is you need to fix the Caretaker, which is this psychopathic Eldon AI.
A little bipolar.
He's kind of crazy.
Little,
We saw him a little earlier in the video.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Freaks me out a little bit.
Anyway,
Reminds me of my mother.
your job in Omnicore 1 is to fix the Caretaker. And so depending on your faction, you'll be escorted by one of the two sort of faction heroes. If you're an exile, it's Bell Walker. If you're the Dominion, it's Axis Phaedra. Right. Each one of those two characters kind of has their own things going on, and it's just a really cool and immersive piece of content. And, really unlike anything that we've released up to this point in Wildstar. And, I think players are going to get pretty pumped up about it.
There's a lot of people in chat are saying that they're excited that there's a solo story.
Yeah.
So that because they thought they'd have to raid to get the reveal.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's kind of why we made it, right? I mean, a lot of MMOs in the past have saved those big story reveals, for raid content. Because raids are sort of epic in scale, and so oftentimes you'll see those big story reveals there. Not everyone's a raider, and we figured that generally people who are story focused may not always be exactly the same people who are getting together with their groups and trying to kill these big bosses. So it's not that we don't have story in our raids, but the juiciest parts of the story, I think, are in the world story instances.
Okay, fantastic. For you personally, what are you most excited to see players get to and kind of experience in this new drop?
I mean, probably Journey into Omnicore 1 is the thing that I'm most excited to see how people enjoy, and sort of the overall experience. It's got some, obviously, like I said before, some very cool story moments, but it really just has some unique mechanics. During your adventure in Omnicore 1, you can choose to go either, one way or the other in a number of different places. So there's branching content, completely unique bosses and boss mechanics, and it ends with a really big boss fight where you are, fixing the Caretaker by destroying this other half of his personality called Avitus. And Avitus is actually the boss of the Datascape, which is our raid right now that lots of our guilds are playing.
Right.
So those two stories, the story of the Datascape and the story of Omnicore 1, both of those kind of happen in parallel. So as you're going through Omnicore 1, you and your faction hero are kind of checking in with the Datascape team that represents really the raiders that are out there and trying to destroy Avitus. So it's from a story standpoint, it's very cool, and obviously from a gameplay standpoint, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any plans to expand Wildstar past Nexus?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you give me any details?
Well,
sorry, I got so close to you. But can you give me any details?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the reality, right? There are some revelations, right, that come with this new content. You know, where players will begin to understand what the true nature of what the Elden were doing on Nexus. You know, and once players understand those revelations, it's going to open up some different some pathways to probably some other planets in the Wildstar universe. Maybe some home worlds from the player races. So
what we're doing now in this last drop will kind of help us get to that point.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so we had a lot of, but he's talking about all the content, right? So I'm going to let him.
Yeah.
He talked about all the content and the lore and all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, some of the technical systems, some of the systems that I think players are really going to enjoy. We have the rune crafting update, which lets you re-roll runes. It adds. It's more of a chase. I like it. The music remodel, which is awesome. You can now change up the music on your housing plot, which has always kind of bugged me because you can change up literally every other thing about your housing plot. We've increased the housing cap on housing items to 2,000, which is gigantic. Now, you can have over 2,000 items, which is really going to help me build that giant castle I'm building.
Yeah.
Out of used Exile engines. We've added rental mounts to the lower level areas.
That I'm very excited about. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
It's very exciting for me.
Rental mounts is cool because
helps
at
me
a low
out.
level you can hop on a rental mount, ride around all day long. You can get to the content quicker. And the mounts are cool. You can get motorcycles and dinosaurs and all kinds of cool stuff. So, and that's like as soon as you get in level 6. So that's I think it's going to be good for people who want to roll alts. I think that's a really strong system. And then we did some stuff with teleporting so you can get around faster, and we've also done some AP normalization, which just pretty much boils down to some of the classes scaled better with AP. So we've adjusted ratios and adjusted armor and items and itemization, and so I think players will really see a difference when they get in the game.
That's fantastic.
And that's everything I wrote down. And I've done in like a minute and a half. So
wow.
And I'm leaving.
No, hold on one second. Will you be giving us any tools to help recruit new players and encourage lapsed players to try post-drop, such as updated free trial?
Yes and yes.
That is from Vic Van Meter, and
yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about the updated free trial, but again, we wanted to, we sent out a bunch of, friend invites a little while ago to all the beta players, so we're slowly moving through, and you'll be seeing an updated free trial soon. And then what was the other one again? Oh, guild recruitment tool.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
We absolutely are working on something right now to help people get more guildies, find them easier,
right.
Include them. We have a plan. We have a design. It's being worked on.
We don't want to make it hard, right?
No,
yeah, that's never the design line.
No,
We're really going to get it.
Yeah, well, like say, let's say we made some things unintentionally hard, and we are in the process of correcting those things.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I like that. Let's see. Here's a question from Discant. Endgame is currently raid or just do dungeons and dailies. Is there any info on additional content for Endgame non-raiders?
You're going to see some content. It's some of the stuff that Chad was talking about earlier. You're going to see some of those content they do include dailies, of course, but we've adjusted the way dailies are going to work. You have more variety. We've also added more public events, and there are things coming out in the next, I don't know if it's the next drop, but maybe the drop after that are I can't give it away, but larger systems that incorporate housing and guilds and in a way that I think people are going to go nuts for. As a matter of fact, it's probably like the most important thing I think we're doing, but that's like 2 drops out. So, whereas I will tell things that I'm not supposed to, like the fact that this might not be the last time you've seen the Elden.
Oh,
so.
You're being very sneaky right now.
Just saying.
Every time I have you on the stream, I never know what you're going to say. I never know what you're going to kind of sneak in there.
Well, Chad talked a little bit about the other planets and stuff, so I felt like I would be remiss in not just going a little bit further and saying some other things. But then again,
oh man, you had to get one in too. There you go. You had a finger point and a wink, people. You should be happy. This is from Basil Eel. I'm sorry, Baz. I screw that up every time you send me this question. I feel really bad about it.
Spectator mode?
Yes, so spectator mode. The PvP community is starting to organize tournaments, and this would help us a ton. So basically, they want something that'll make it easier for them to live stream
More
it.
like that. What in your pen?
Oh,
Sorry, I just read a question that I like the. I'm just going to jot it down so I don't forget.
oh no, that's that. I mean, well, it's gonna stay up there.
Yeah, but you're not going to send it to me.
Oh, I mean, I could totally do that. But you're
Thank
right.
you.
No, let's just write it.
Thank you. Never mind.
You're welcome.
I just needed that. Thank you. Please continue.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. This is what happens when we do live shows.
It's live.
It is very live, and you have Mike Donatelli, so why not send him
Spectator
notes.
mode, if it's not already done, is we've designed it and we've talked about it. Again, let me get back to you on that one. Moon, 0G moon environments, yes, and even some. I don't think I'd be wrong to say underwater environments.
Well, okay, hold on.
I mean,
slow down, Mike.
It's true.
Just pull it back a little bit, Mike. Okay, this is from.
Things of that nature.
Oh my God. Eben Leafser, Mike, 0G moon environments like Farside. More of them? Talk to me.
Yes.
So that was a question.
More of them,
yes.
but also some underwater stuff, some submarines. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming that will have a different. Might not be 0G, but will definitely be a different style of environment.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Sneak in all kinds of stuff in here. This is from Shadowblades. Shadowblades. So nice to hear that name again.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to create community contests or perhaps in-game competitions that don't involve combat? Best Christmas house contests, etc. Winner gets cred. Let me answer this for you, Shadowblades. There is something being worked on right now that is in this vein and could be very incredible. It's in the early stages. We are really trying to flush it out so that way all of the details can be worked out. But we are working on something absolutely that is not combat based, that is a competition, and that could be awesome.
No, and to be quite honest with you, both of our Christmas and Halloween event type things were that. So it's unfortunate that we've had to, kind of move past those things.
Shift it
but
around
we still those things still exist. We're still going to do them. But yes, we do have the idea of trying to appeal to people, so it's not just all about killing each other.
Right. Okay, so with that, I just wanted to quickly thank you so much for
please.
coming on. We definitely went longer than I thought we were going
And yes,
to.
we will be making changes to PvP. 2-hour wait times are too long.
Yes. There you go. I don't know who that was from, but we just got the question.
It's not important. The answer is important.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying you're not important. You are an absolutely lovely human being if you are a human being.
The Safari Turbinator MK9000. This is the hat that you get with this drop.
Yep.
This post was made in the news announcements. I have a thread there. We had to delay it because we wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to break. We didn't have enough time to test it to make sure it wasn't going to break anything in the current patch.
It works in everybody's head. It's just there's some stuff they want to take a look at before
Right,
they put it out
right.
there. It's
So
just,
it should be available to everyone in the next hot fix.
you're getting it free of charge. It's just
Yeah,
we gotta make sure it's
everyone's
right.
getting it, but we did have to hold it a little bit. So it should be in the next hot fix.
Absolutely.